Morning, folks. Still sporting the Chisel Face natural soap. This one here is unscented, and that's what it looks like there on the inside. Fairly firm, but you can push your finger in there a little ways. It's relatively easy to scoop out of the container and put into a bowl. I'm going to be following the shave up today. Give this a good shake with Yulay's Reggae Rumberry. Excuse me. The scent on this one here is going to be, like you can imagine, it's going to have some rum, some berries, lemon, citrus. Pretty nice scent, especially to start out a Wednesday morning. Already put a hot towel to the face this morning and still using the Preshave Proraso. Got the usual suspects over here in the way of, got the Crown King Alum Blanc complete with rubber band this morning. Didn't get it upside down this morning. Also got the Humphreys Hazel that's citrus scented. And I think last time I forgot to mention this, off camera I'll be using the Shaven Sailor beard oil. A little bit of a mouthful there. I've got the lather whipped up here in my walnut bowl. That's what it looks there on the outside. And whipped it up with an Omega. Would think this was 10048 Pro. Or just might be considered a Pro. I got it whipped up. It's a little bit thicker than what I normally. It's thickened up just a bit, so I think I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Shaver of the day is the Razorine, and this particular Razorine I got from Shave Nation. And if you've seen the Razorine when it first started, it comes like this. Comes in a raw brass form, or you can get one that is chrome, like this one here. The newest one, I guess you might say, has a different kind of handle to it, where it is doesn't have this anymore, and it might be a little thicker through here with some lines through it, some grooves, make it easier to grip. And if you still don't think that that's going to quite cut the mustard, Gio's added his modification to this model as well as the latest Razorine, where he's dipped them in rubber, so to help with the grip. If you're interested, I'll have a link down below. You can check that out at shavenation.com. But looked like a pretty nice modification. I think, if I remember right, like this one here, the going price with the modification, it's like it's right around $55. And blade of the day, it's going to be super today. It's a Super Max Super Stainless. So we're doing the super today. Thought that was pretty interesting. How many times can you put super in a name? But anyway, we're going to give that a try with this particular shaver. If you're unfamiliar with the Razorine, there's another one that is similar to this, and it's available at Italian Barber, and it's called a Switch. And when I first saw this one here, it just reminded me of what I call a DE on a stick. And the Switch is closer to being a DE on a stick in that it could be converted back over to just a DE shaver, which is pretty nice if you're looking for a two-in-one, looking for the DE side of things partway through a shave. For instance, if you're not comfortable putting a shave head up underneath your nose, you can convert it to a DE shaver and shave underneath your nose. Just some alternatives, I guess you might say, to a more traditional style of shave-at shaving. I will say that this one here, the Razorine, that when you go to the blade, I don't know if you can see all that, it is relatively flat. There is no curve. It's not bent, or that blade's not bent or anything of the sort. It is flat. But as you can tell, there's a safety bar on each end. And it took me a little while to get accustomed to taking full advantage of that safety bar. It's not something that you typically would have on a shavette. So if you're interested in something like this may not be such a bad place to start. It's with the safety bar, it does give you a little bit of added comfort there, especially if you're unsure of just a naked blade hanging out there. But you can still cut yourself. Yes, since this handle is the way that it is, you definitely want to keep your hands dry. I think that's one of the big reasons Gio went ahead and added his modification to the handle. I don't remember right offhand what the name of the product is, but there is a, if you wanted to do it yourself and try your hand at putting your own rubberize the handle. In other words, there is a way of doing it yourself if you're interested. But if you're like some people that don't trust themselves to do it. The blade so far is working out pretty well. Like it is with some cases, you know, it's the against the grain pass that's the real test. I should mention also, before I forget, now that I've showed the aftershave from Van Yulay, Monica's shop is closed at the moment until end of May, if I remember right. You know, with the virus and all that sort of thing going on, it's probably kind of difficult to get things coordinated, especially if you're hiring help and whatnot. Still got a little bit left there to take off. For me, this is a pretty enjoyable shave head. It's not too tough to learn how to use with the safety bars on there, and some may believe that that this was made for a guy that's like me that shaves with one hand instead of using both hands. As you can tell, it's going to be kind of tough to clog it up unless you got many days worth of growth. In other words, if you're trying to take something like this off, there might be some issues with clogging, but for the most part, it does a pretty good job rinsing everything out for you. I've been kind of looking at the one with the handle with the grooves on it. But now that Gio's got his modification, I'm not so sure that, in other words, just getting one like this will work just fine. You definitely want to keep your hands free of the soap and try to keep that handle dry. Because it can get a little bit slippery. I'm used to shaving with one hand. It's what works for me. I've tried with the left hand. There's enough things I don't mind doing with the left hand, but shaving with my left hand is not one of them. It just, no. I just don't trust it. I imagine if I had to, I could, but I would approach things a lot differently. In other words, as if I just started shaving. That's how I would approach it. So I would start with a DE or a single edge. Single edge to me would be a lot easier. In other words, like a chick injector to start out with. At least to me that would seem to be pretty easy to do. A lot of times, you know, with the injectors, the angle's preset. There's not really, doesn't take a whole lot to find the angle that you need to use. Helps build the confidence in using that one hand. If you can tell, it's just like the last one. I still got that little sliver left. This is going to last a good long while. Got the witch hazel here. I'm kind of interested in checking out though that one with the Geo's mod, you know, putting the rubberized handle on there. Kind of interested in trying that out to see how it works. A thicker handle and putting that rubber on there makes that handle thicker is something I would be interested in. For me, this handle is thin. It's not that you can't get used to it. It just makes it nicer if you got a thicker, for me, a more round handle. Got used to the Feather Artist Club with that round handle. Just really nice to have in your hand versus something thin and flat. It'd just be something I would add for my liking. Makes it a lot easier to hang on to and more comfortable in the hand. The Yulay's aftershave, I should mention, is not alcohol based. It's got witch hazel and whatnot in it. So as I don't know of, I've got several of her aftershaves, Monica's aftershaves, and have to say all of them are this way where you have to shake them up. And they're relatively what I would call on the inexpensive side, in that you can get your 3.4 ounces or whatever the case might be. I think this one here says 4 ounces for $10, which is pretty inexpensive compared to, you know, upwards of $25. And the scent is definitely there. It just rolls right on off out of the container there. And it does have that touch of rum to it. That's what I like about it. It's the touch of rum. A sweet rum with all the citrus that's added to it. Feeling kind of festive this morning, in other words. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.